So hi everybody, it is June 15th, if you can believe it. It is a Monday and we are so grateful for the folks that are online so we can make this call. I thought I'd be outside today. Beautiful June 15th day in Minnesota. Pretty, we have the cooler temperatures going on right now. It's 76 right now. So thank you for taking your time to watch the video and to be together. So why don't we start with moving, since it's such a beautiful day, and we're going to just gently bounce and shake it off as we come together. And let me know if you can't hear me. If you feel like you can't hear me, I'll go back in. I can swap it out quick, but it sounds like you can. So gently shaking. And let's just gently shift the weight. So instead of kind of going as fast, you're just going to do a little bit different, rotating. Sometimes I just have you go right into the tapping of the kidneys, but I want you to feel a little bit of rotation before you hit the kidneys, going slower to feel the momentum coming up your legs, being expressed through the center. So right, the energy's coming up and being expressed through the center, and it's getting carried through the hands. And if you feel enough momentum, like a little bit of a bounce in the knees, you can bring the hands up higher, and it can tap the lung meridian points. And we can go all the way up so where it's over our head and it looks really funny or goofy. Flapping the wrists, bouncing the knees. And I was just telling people before, this is an old t-shirt that I think I bought it as a Brandy Carlisle. I've been a big fan of her music for over 15 years, I think. So this is an over 10-year-old t-shirt I found. And I was happy to find it. So now we're just going to gently bring that down after tapping. And then we're going to do some side-to-side lifts, just going right into them. I know a lot of people enjoyed doing more of that swinging motion. You can kind of gently bend the knees, have it express through the hands. Feeling a nice motion, range. My cats are meowing at me through the door. They want to be outside. All right, so let's do it a couple more times like this. And now let them go side to side. You know, shifting the weight side to side to help swing the arms side to side. And let's come up. Let's do some nice gathering and settling. Opening and storing. Let's do that a few more times. And let's do that one more time. And let's keep that movement going, shaking a little bit, kind of both. Let's bend over, shifting the weight side to side, and slowly rising up and opening up the chest and going back down, kind of feeling like a rickety doll, shifting the weight from one side to the other and opening up the chest. And let's do that again. Swaying over side to side, slowly coming up and opening the chest. So those little variations. Let's also gently have the hands go up in front. Looks funny, but it feels good. And if you want to do two hands, going up and down. I know we did it slow before, now we're doing it faster. And one more time. Let's do some like ballet. Okay, my hair looks kind of funny now. But let's do some ballet minuets. Hands go up and open. Squatting, letting the knees bend and open. Hands go down and open. All right, feeling good, shaking out. Let's do a little stretching to the side. So my instructor, Kathy Yang, she does white crane qigong. She does a lot of stretching like this. You know, it just kind of feels more, but it's part of her white crane qigong that she does. Going to the side, opening up. She actually talks about opening this area. So this is my left, but for you it's your right. But opening space for your liver, feeling more spaciousness. And let's go back to the other side again. And then the other side would be your spleen, I believe, and your pancreas. But spleen for sure. Gallbladder. I think it's spleen and gallbladder. I never took human anatomy. Now, going to the side, but doing a little twist. So a slight angle. Of course, always do what's comfortable for you. And then going to the other side at a slight angle versus, you know, straight to the side. Kind of. Kathy Yang, she's out of Boston. So it's a virtual class that I learned from her. But she, you know, again was talking about the meridians. And I thought I would bring up some of those points. So in Chinese medicine, they like to consider your body like a house. So anything below here is considered the basement. It's moist, it's wet, it's the recycling part, right? And then up here is the kitchen, the main floor. And then up here is considered the attic. So in the attic, the heart and lungs are part of that in this attic area. So it gets hot, heat expands, and then in here is the kitchen, right? The stomach, the spleen, the liver, right? The liver is digesting all the blood, getting the nourishment for the blood, all that important kitchen stuff, right? And then the waste and the earth, the bottom part. So anything below here. It was interesting that she talked about the yin meridians go out, which would be yin, would be going out, and the yang meridians go up and back and go up to your head. So there's 3 meridian channels that are yang that go on the back of our hand all the way up to our head on both sides. And there's 3 meridian yin channels that lead to the heart, which is more the yin. And the yin organs are solid and they contain blood, usually contain something like your heart, it's pumping, right? Lungs contain air, and the yang forms are hollow. So the small intestines, right, the stomach gets hollow. It's there to absorb and nourish your body so it can grow. So it's very interesting. Also, the yin meridians are in their leg, and the yang one is on the outer. And then there's yang meridians that go over your head and all the way down the back. So the back is considered the yang. So it's very fascinating. It's really fun. I liked how, I mean, I've heard that analogy of the 3 levels of the qigong of our body. But it was kind of cool talking about the direction and then bringing it back up as well. So just some fun facts. Let's do a nice movement of like waving cloud hands. So I'm going to mirror you, and let's do the Tai Chi Cha version. So bringing the one hand, so I'm going to bring it up. So, gosh, I don't want to reverse it, my body, but let's just do traditional. Let's forget the Tai Chi Cha. Let's do traditional yang hands. So it doesn't matter which direction you go first. So we're going to gently shift our weight side to side. So that's all we're doing with our weight right now. And the hands are doing their own separate circles. But if it looks confusing, you can kind of think of holding a child, bringing the child across, putting out a stop sign, scooping up sand. Holding that child so it lasts a little bit longer, carrying, putting out the stop sign, picking up sand. So this is not cloud hands in its traditional form because I'm not stepping, but I want you to just experience the hands only by shifting the weight. So this is a good way to learn it, and this is yang style. So letting it kind of be expressed through your body, right? Up through the feet and expressed through the hands. We've talked that a lot, right? I'm shifting the weight, which causes that hand to go up, right? I'm shifting that weight causes this hand to go up. So the hand, the direction you're going is the hand that you go. So I'm going this direction, right? So the hand goes that way to protect. I'm going this direction, the hand protects, and vice versa. So this is a fun move. You could do this forever. But if you want to do the traditional waving cloud hands, we would step. And how do you know what direction to go is a question to think about. Well, think of the hand as on the top that goes. So this hand is going up, right? So that means I step out that way. So if I want to step out, I would step out that way. And I bring the foot in, right? When I can't see the foot right now, maybe I go a little bit further back. So you don't see my face, but that's okay. You see my plants because they're in the way. But if you pick up the foot and bring the hand in, that kind of causes the hand, right? It's the feet, shift the weight, and lift the feet. Oh, look at, I got some ducks with me. Oh, fun. They're liking me. They're walking right past me. Isn't that cool? I almost feel like I'm walking like a duck. Doesn't it feel like you're walking? You're not, well, you don't want to waddle, but. All right, so that's a little bit, let's go in the other direction. So how do I know what direction? You go feet, right? So the feet causes the hands to shift the weight, bring the foot in, and step out. So the stepping, the feet are parallel, and we just do a small step forward. Looks like I'm in the way of my plants. I'm going to go a little bit forward, and one more time in that direction. So, all right, that is a complicated move, waving cloud hands. When we're done, we have our hands reach out, signify the ending, and the feet are no longer bent. So maybe if I step further back, you can see my feet better, but it might be hard to hear because I'm outside. I could put my headset in next time, but I think that's good for movement. I'm looking at the time, so let's move on to the next part of the class that I'd like to do on this free class that we meet. I see, isn't it fun to see the ducks that were walking right past me? All right, so grab some water. Gargling a little bit. My phone and my, they almost match. Okay. Anyways, I was just noticing. All right, so getting that water, feeling a little bit better, more hydrated. I know it always helps me. So, as far as a song, I was trying to make sure I have the lyrics exactly of a song that's been in my head all week. So, it's called A Conversation with a Raven. But when I was trying to look up the lyrics, I couldn't find it. But I know I have it somewhere. But I'm going to paraphrase it and teach you the first part. There's a lot of parts. Actually, it's a song. I think it has 7 parts to it. But we're going to just probably teach the main part because that's what I remember in this moment. Like I said, I was looking it up and I wasn't finding it. But it's a song by Heather Houston. As you know, she's one of my teachers. And she teaches it in many of her classes. So it goes, it's pretty simple. It goes, I had a conversation with a raven. So just that part. I had a conversation with a raven. And again, I had a conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I had. So that's the second part of the part. A conversation, yes, I had. So for the whole thing all the way through. I had a conversation with the raven. A conversation, yes, I had. A conversation with the raven. A conversation, yes, I have. I had a conversation with a raven. And then that's the ending. So it goes, I had a conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I have. A conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I have. And then I had a conversation with a raven. And kind of how it ends, but I had a conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I have. A conversation with a raven. A conversation, and I said I never had a conversation with a raven. See, I'm remembering the other parts just now. So the conversation, it goes, so I'll keep going with it as it comes to me. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it gives you a feel. And I see a chat, somebody says, I love it. It has a nice jazzy feel, right? So I had a conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I have. A conversation with a raven. A conversation, and I said I never had a conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I have. And it goes, I've never had a conversation with a raven. A conversation, yes, I have. I've never had a conversation. So I went higher a little bit there. And welcome, there's another person that joined us on Zoom land. So I'm paraphrasing a song that's been in my head for the last few days. And it's a song by Heather Houston, Raven. And that's a part of it. I may not be 100% correct. But I'm going to look it up if it's on Spotify. But it gives you a rough idea. And it's a song that has 7 parts. It's a lot of fun. So, like I said, it's a song that's, Conversation with a Raven. I'm going to play it we can sing along with her. With the raven, a conversation, yes, I've had a conversation with the raven, a conversation, and I said I've never had a conversation with the raven. So now this is the different parts. Okay, so I don't have the raven. So let's keep this main part, the melody. And I said I never had a conversation with the raven. Conversation, and I said a conversation with the raven. A conversation, and I said I've never had a conversation with a raven, a conversation, and I said, an occasion with a raven, a conversation, and I said, I never had a conversation with the raven. So you kind of get an idea. It keeps going on, but you hear the layers. So there's so many different parts, and next week I can spend more time on a different part. But let's learn the first part. You know, that could be a fun part. So I never had a conversation with a raven. So it's a fun song. So look it up. I think it's gone. Right there it is. Conversation with a raven. I wonder if it has the lyrics. You know, a lot of time with Spotify, it does have the lyrics. So anyways, but you know, sometimes they don't. That's my song for the week, because on Sunday I saw a raven and it was very chatty. So maybe think of that song. All right, so we did movement first instead of a song first. So that's for the folks that came in a little bit later. So let's go into the vocal self-lymphatic massage. I don't have a towel or a scarf, but I can use my jacket as my scarf. And we're going to just take a deep breath. We're going to gently put our fingers on the bridge of by our eyebrows. So you can either gently push down or gently push up. And we're going to do 6 deep breaths with gentle pressure. And then slowly exhale. Do that again, second time. A third time. A fourth time. A fifth time. And a 6th time. We're going to let that go and gently have the hands go down the face to the clavicle. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but I can hear them. I think I do have original sound on. It is on, so maybe you can hear the birds. You'll have to let me know if you can hear them. Earlier, when I was doing the movement, there were some ducks walking by, so it was kind of cool. All right, I'm going to take my ponytail out because my hair looks worse if I don't. Now I want to gently brush through my hair. Or if you don't have hair, then just gently massaging your scalp. And one more time, because it feels good. All right, fix your hair if you need to, but now I want to gently do behind the ears. And the other side. I know my neck's been bothering me. I went for a bike ride and it's jarring on my neck. I love it, but it's hard on my hypermobility. So I had to put some cream on it today. It's just hurting. All right, around the armpits, up around the chest, on the outer side. This is going to look funny for anybody walking by, but that's okay. And now we're going to go up and over the chest, or across. And now we're going to go up the sternum, same side as the chest. And basically it's kind of just wherever the chest starts, that area. And that's my new, well, this is not new, but this is my old Brandy Carlisle shirt. I think I bought it in 2012. That tells you how much I've been a fan of hers. All right, let's sweep on the other side. And it was always kind of too small for me, but it kind of fits now. A little bit tight, but it fits. And now let's go across, straight up and over. There's people walking by. And now on the sternum. And one more time. Now we're going to grab our shirt, or scarf and go behind and the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we gently come down. All right, yay! Nice parent technique. Now we're gonna go into our chanting, which I don't have the piano this time. I'm outside, but we'll have fun without it. So get comfortable in your chair or lie down, whatever feels good. I know my vocal therapist was telling me it's important to do lip trills, the lip trills. So why don't we do that together? So it looks really funny looking in the mirror. And try to make some sound behind it. And then if it feels natural, you don't have to put your hands on it. Just do it without hands on your face. It looks so funny. Okay, let's do that again. If anybody's looking, I know some people are multitasking, so. It's kind of fun to watch because it just like it's just, waving in the wind. So anyways, that's lip trills. Really a good thing to do, according to vocal therapists. All right, let's go into that vocal resonance. So thinking of our chest, you can use a different syllable, but I'm going to go with, let's do hum. Hum. And we'll do 5 times, okay? So take a nice deep breath. Probably that's a little bit too shallow for me, but do it again, a second time. Third time. Fourth time. And one more time. Making a moment to relax. And if you want to reflect, I just noticed for me at first, it was like hard for me to get that lower sound. And then when I did the lower sound, I noticed it was making my lips feel tingly, but then I forced it back into my chest, the vibrations, and then I could notice it at my nose. Anyways, I just notice it in your body where it goes. That's what I was noticing. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one, which is the back of the throat. Ng, G. So let's begin. Third time. Fourth time. And one more time. Taking a moment to relax, soften. It's fun to see people walk by. I love it when it's like nice enough weather where I can just be outside and do this as well. So just noticing the softness in our body. If you need to yawn. Yawning lifts the back of the palate. And something I just learned, that sometimes some vocal teachers will say sniff, and that will kind of open up. So I've never been taught that, but it's a common, and it's like we don't actually want to sniff, but it kind of, it opens up that area. So just let's do a few sniffs and see how it feels. Does it create some opening? And then just notice that. So anyways, I like to bring awareness to our bodies, right? It's cool to feel something different in our body that we're not aware of. All right, so now we're going to do the ooh in front of our mouth. So ooh, and let's take a deep breath, focusing on the front lips. Ooh. And one more time, and remember to relax the jaw. Taking a moment to open. And just notice, kind of feeling like you're a tree trunk, nice and solid, upright. If you can imagine what it feels like inside of a tree trunk, wouldn't that be cool to imagine? So nice and open. So imagining, that idea came to me. So never heard that analogy before, but opening like your tree trunk. It's open and hollow and things are moving. All right, so next we want to do the sound, which for me almost feels like you could pretend like you're sniffing. So I think that's where, how you sneeze and, like just like you sniff in and it's more of a flat. For me, that helps with that E sound. So try your best, play with it, feel it in your body. Let's begin. Fourth time. And one more time. Just notice your body and soften. Feeling like you're a tree trunk, and your throat and your body open, spacious, allowing for things to flow where they need to flow. And let's do, last week I think we did ah, so let's do the overtones between the E and the U. And I know there's another version I learned, but I haven't learned it well enough. So let's do the old way. So let's do the U to E. So let's begin. Again. And let's try the opposite, U to E. Again. And now let's try maybe U to E to back to U twice. Again. So it's just kind of joyful and playful, just noticing how it feels in your body and softening, relaxing, maybe stretching your neck, keeping the chin tucked, maybe turning your neck side to side, do some nice shoulder rolls. And maybe let's put our hands on the side, just turning with your hands at the clavicle on one side and gently turning. I know my motion of range is less. Like, to me, that tells me to stop right there. It's not happy. And let's do that again. And now let's switch sides to the other. I'm going slow because it feels better that way. And one more time. And then coming back to neutral. Maybe putting your hands on your heart, as I'm looking at the time. We have a few minutes, which usually I don't, which is kind of nice. I know we had a simple conversation piece, so I usually tell you what our conversation piece was, and maybe at the end for the people that join midway, we can hear from them. But it was just like, what did you do yesterday? So it was fun to hear what everybody did. Interesting enough, 2 of the 3 and the conversations people went to concerts, a home concert and a professional concert. And I had a grad party to go to, so it was kind of fun to share. And as we're putting our hands on our bodies, just feeling that gentle pressure, I highly recommend, if you're feeling a lot of pain or more pain, which is my case right now, if you can lie still and just put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly or your liver area, just anywhere in your torso. Just lay there for 20 minutes. Don't move. And think positive things, nothing sad. Don't listen to the news. And just be still. And it will just recharge your battery. For me, that's what it feels like when I do this. It just recharges my battery. It reduces my pain. I went biking first time after like 9 months, and I went much further than I usually would. And my neck is hypermobile, and just that jarringness did a number on my neck. So it's, more pain. So this is a helpful technique if you're hypermobile or got fibro pain. I found it life-saving. I did it every day for about several months, and I noticed a huge shift. But then you get lazy and you forget about it. So it's a good toolbox. Like, put it down in your toolbox to try if you're ever having migraines or anything that's painful, and see what happens. So for the challenge of the week, sometimes we get challenge cards. Since I'm outside, I don't have that in front of me. But maybe we should, inspired by the song, Conversation with a Raven, maybe have a conversation with any animal that you feel inspired to have a conversation with. So maybe it's your cats, maybe it's your dogs, maybe it's the birds, maybe it's, mosquitoes, right? Challenge to have a conversation with, an animal that you think you couldn't and never thought you could, and see what they say. All right, so I'm being silly and serious at the same time, though. You might hear something that you might have not heard before. So just taking a few more minutes. Maybe some of you, if you're watching, enjoy watching the people walking by. I know that's what I love about living here. I love watching people walk by. And love to have you guys over here sometime. And especially on these beautiful evenings, my goodness. We'll have to figure out a time for that. All right, let's do this for one more minute. Thinking about our challenge. Thinking about something fun and silly. Let's take a deep breath and gently rub our hands, just noticing and feeling that love. And let's do 5 heart shapes around our face. I know my hands feel warm. Do you know the other day I did this? Actually, I did this on Saturday night. I actually felt heat radiating on me, which I've never felt that before, but it was balancing energy. So it's a powerful Reiki technique. All right. And the heart shape on the face. I was doing around the head more. There we go. All right, so just ending the recording. So thanks, everyone. This is the 56th recording. So glad to have you guys here, and we'll see you next week. All right, thanks for watching and joining.